Hello, my name is Hildegard Mueller. I live in Germany. I work with fabric for many years. I started quilting as a traditional quilter, but when I got in touch with modern quilts, I started to create my work by using techniques like dyeing, printing, and painting on the fabrics, as well as shaping three-dimensional structures or inserting the text on non-textile elements. I like to experiment with dyes on various fabrics, for example, with screen printing, with wax reservation, or discharge paste. I combine hand stitching and machine stitching. Next, please. This is Dandelion. Dandelion, it is part of the SAQA exhibition Aloft. The background for Dandelion was created with breakdown printing on cotton sateen. Hand-dyed threads were used for hand stitching and embroidery. Meshing quilting is used to show parts of the flowers and to present the included text. This work refers to the joy of spring, when nature awakes and spreads its blossoms and seeds. Children love to blow the seeds on the dandelion into the air and send a wish with each seed. The caption says, "Some see weeds, others see wishes." Next, please. I created several diptychs for a solo exhibition that I called Pas de deux. For this volcano, I used several techniques as wax batik in 3 layers on cotton sateen with inserted stripes of silk. Meshing quilting and hand embroidery, as well as beads and small pieces of glass, enlighten the eruption. Next, please. Next, please. The Secret Garden is a mono-printed fabric that was treated with wax to make floral reservation when adding further dyes. This is the annual SAQA. It is part of the international contest in the course of the seasons at the European Patchwork Meeting in Alsace, France. The text in this piece was first printed and surrounded by machine quilting. The background was created also with wax batik. I stitched the sections for the 4 seasons in different ways with hand-dyed threads and meshing quilting. Organza leaves, silk flowers, stitched elements, and wool-made snow were there to embellish with beads and sequins. So one season leads to the other. Next, please. Next, please. This is a seaside, another work created with layers of wax batik, dyes, and screen printing. This work is a further work of the series of diptychs. I started this piece with a breakdown printing on cotton sateen that I brushed with wax before another layer of dye was added. Meshing quilting and hand stitched with hand-dyed threads were added. Beads and sequins complete this landscape. Next. Here you see my workspace. It is a room in my house. I do not have to leave the house when I want to start working, but I'm happy to be able to work everywhere in my home. For example, the dyeing I do in a wet room, so I have the chance to make a lot of fabric of my own. Next, please. This piece is part of the currently traveling SAQA exhibition Forced to Flee. It is a breakdown printed cotton sateen with screen printing with acrylic paint and discharge paste. Photos with stumbling blocks as paper lamination, meshing quilting, and hand stitching. Stumbling blocks are metal stones with engraved names of Jewish, Sinti, and Romani families or disabled citizens who were deported by the German National Socialists before and during the Second World War. Those blocks are set into the pavement in front of the homes where those people used to live before they were killed. The German artist Günther Demning set hundreds of stumbling blocks in cities all over Europe to keep the memory and to admonish. Unfortunately, people of today often step and walk over those blocks in the pavement, but they should better watch and listen and say never again. Next, please. This piece refers to World War I and the horrors of this war more than 100 years ago, but as relevant as ever. The subject of this work is a poem in Flandern Fields written by John McCrae in 1915. John McCrae wrote this poem about his experiences during World War I. Poppies flourished in spring when nature awakes, revives again. The Flandern Fields were filled with these bright flowers in contrast during the war. Dead soldiers lay in the fields among the flowers whose red color remind of the bloodshed wars. Since then, poppies symbolized the dead soldiers of the war.